hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy who springs for the good stuff.
Now the first carry for Ronald Jones. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
They're just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1.
No. Check. Patriot!
Looking to throw. McKenzie. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down. At the 32.
He ain't going nowhere.
On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And he'll take this in at the 1-yard line. Powering forward, and now running right through him. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And out will come the offense as they take over. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. Commanding the offense will be Lamar Jackson, the electric quarterback out of the University of Louisville.
And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play, right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again. That really rekindles things a little bit. I want to see how they come out and establish themselves here early.
And that bye week coming right where they want it, in the middle of the schedule. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And this will go for 5 up to the 33. This is how they will line it up defensively for Washington. Currently #1 in the NFL against the run.
And I know just like me, you're fired up about this one because this is the irresistible object and the immovable force. They're going head-to-head, number one versus number one. I've talked about that running backs renaissance for a while. Can they slow these guys down? Where's my helmet? I want to play.
Jeez, you are fired up. Something's got to give. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he's got some space here. That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a first down. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They go play action here on 1st down. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Bringing it in, Jackson left side. And he'll get nothing out of that one. They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still 3rd down.
After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
From the gun, it's Jackson. Buying time to his left. This is caught inside the 15. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
This will be their first trip to the red zone. They've got it 1st and goal to go.
Check, Patriots!
And they'll run it here. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. And the offense will hold on to this one right at the 5-yard line. Lucky there.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. He's going to get it running right. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. This defense hasn't let him in yet. They'll need to stiffen here. 3rd and goal from the 2.
Watch him now, Barney!
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And his guys have taken a first-quarter lead. John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the 2-point conversion. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, get the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. A decent run there following the display of quick feet down just inside the 45. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to them.
Time for a look at our starters here on defense. This unit against the pass, hoping to get better for sure. Number 25 in the NFL right now.
What they lack in pass defense, they do make up for in run defense. They're a top 10 unit against the people trying to move the ball on the ground. But this is a passing league. So there's a conundrum for them. How do they get better defending the pass?
All right, here we go.
From the gun on 3rd down, McKenzie. And he comes back with one complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. First connection there of the afternoon for those two, and it's good for a 1st down.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. 10 more there and another 1st down. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Mike Evans, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Redskins have tied it here. The extra point to come can put him in the driver's seat. That's one of those long drives where not only do you score, but you really tire out the defense, too.
That's a great point, because now they've been on the field for a long time. Them going to the bench, trying to make adjustments, trying to figure things out, but they'll do so fatigued.
Extra point splits the uprights, and they take the lead here at 7-6. So that drive in total 8 plays. And the result, a touchdown for Washington. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And here now the offense heading back out there. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in. but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurtling through them.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
On 2nd down, Jackson steps away to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep back over the... And it's intercepted at the goal line. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And he'll take it all the way out here to the 30-yard line. That had disaster written all over. You've got a right-handed quarterback, a rolling left, and throwing it pretty far downfield.
It's really difficult to do, to try and get your body twisted around into the proper position and get anything on the ball as you heave it downfield. And that's what it actually turns into, a heave. And that's not really a good throw, is it?
Not good, and we saw the result. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Yeah, he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
Let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another 1st down. It will.
They're making it look easy out there. Another 1st down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 1st downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success.
Set. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Now Jones. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old-school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Back to throw. McKenzie looking sideline, incomplete. Curtis Samuel, the one he was looking for. And it's 3rd and short.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. As his guys are in for 6, and the Redskins are going to add on to their lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is up to 8. set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Now this offense ready to head back out there. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Now a play fake here on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. And they'll go on the ground. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Jackson from the shotgun. Forced out to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep left side. And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. Fourth down now. And on now is the punter, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And look at this, it's a fake. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. Well, not only did they try to fake it, they put the ball in the arm of their punter, and it didn't work. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They're starting to pull away with this one. Early on that first quarter, they didn't look so great offensively. What has changed?
Sometimes it's just a matter of doing what you plan to do better. Sometimes you just put that all together and you execute. Other times it's just a simple adjustment in your game plan, finding a spot that maybe was a little weaker than maybe you thought, and going to that. So many different things, so many different ways, but right now, you got to like what they're doing. They have put distance between themselves and their opponent.
Looking to add on here in the second quarter. So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. From the gun, McKenzie. Left side complete. Safarian Jenkins. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Looking to throw. McKenzie. And his pass incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Green 39.
On 3rd and 2, McKenzie. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field. At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they?
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll start by running the option to the right. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it. But it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Detroit! Detroit! Gun! 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 Gun!
They go play action with Jackson. Looking deep downfield. This is caught inside the 15. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. A pickup of 4 on first down. It'll be second and goal.
When you look at the geography we're staring at, this part of the field, don't you always think of big backs carrying the football, bruisers trying to pound it in? Instead, look at a little more of a scat back type, and he's trying to make it happen.
Yeah, they went with the elusive, slippery guy, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there with his second touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And his guys have made this a one-score game now. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
And John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the 2-point conversion. Here's a toss coming right, and he will find the end zone again. So he gets the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, and that'll cut this deficit down a little bit further. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. And he's closing in on that number that all running backs circled beginning of the year, the number 1,000. Couldn't do it on this drive.
And you have to think to yourself that this moment, getting to this spot, it started in the offseason, right? Not just the workouts, right? Not just getting yourself physically prepared to play, but mentally, as well as your team, as well as your unit, head coach, offensive coordinator. We run the football. We give you opportunities. He's taking advantage of it.
And when you get this close to the mark, you just hope things don't tighten up, right? You probably want to get there and get it in your rearview mirror.
You really do, don't you? Because now it becomes predominant, and you wonder about play calling as well. Do you want to call plays to get that out of the way, or are you still calling plays to win the game first? That becomes the burden of the play caller.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on 3rd down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Off play action. McKenzie rolling to his right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked.
Green 39. Green 39.
The give is to Jones. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. 3 yards is the pickup, but it leaves them still needing 11 here on 3rd down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
To throw on 3rd down, McKenzie, and he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. With the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Jackson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get it down here to the 43. His first catch, good for 9 and a 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Off the play fake, here's Jackson. Incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Again on second and 10, it's Jackson. Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. 11 more yards there, and this methodical drive continues.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher, guys trying to get to the football.
Eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to let it go. And it's caught. Touchdown. In for the score. And his guys are able to strike for 6.
An excellent, long, sustained offensive drive. And now they can look across the field and see a defense that looks a little bit beaten down. Right now, as an offensive coordinator, you're thinking to yourself, can I dial up the knockout punch?
Here's a toss coming right. And he'll get into the end zone to make it a 5-point game. They get the conversion. And, Charles, when you only have 2 yards to go, what do you think of the toss play? Because initially it kind of sets you back a little bit.
It does, especially if you get a lot of pressure coming towards you. But if you can get to the edge, if you seal the edge with your blocking, often your tackle or your tight end on what they call the play side where the ball goes, you can get to the corner, and that allows those big guys to get out ahead of the runner.
So out now come the Redskins. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not pump the ball again.
So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. And now time will be called here as we've got an injured Redskin down on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
To throw on 2nd down. McKenzie. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down. So 2 minutes to go in a wild first half. Back to FedEx Field following this short break. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Evans has it left side. And that one results in 35 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
On 1st and 10, McKenzie. Oh, it was hit at the line of scrimmage and intercepted. Picked off at the 33, 30, 10, 5, and he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Here's a toss coming right, and he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. And there's a quick momentum swing. INT return for a pick 6, and then the 2-point conversion good.
And even if you're keeping your wits about you, you're thinking to yourself, okay, extra point block team going into the game now. All of a sudden you're hearing defense. Everyone's scrambling for their helmets and throwing down their cups of water. That's a great position for them to be in, trying to score against that team. A little bit disjointed.
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him, and they told us, they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest. They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Back to throw. McKenzie, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here's Brian Anger now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, because he's looked pretty good to this point. Now Jackson on first down. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And this one will go to the 28-yard line.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Back to that Philly. Here we go.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one. Maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
They go play action now. Jackson. He's got his tight end in Njoku. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. From midfield now, here's Jackson. Dancing to his left. Now he's going to throw deep. That's caught inside the 20. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A big play there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs.
Back to that Watch him now, Barney.
Here's a toss coming right. And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. And so they run it in on the 2-point try. You know, so often, Charles, we talk about from the offense's perspective what you do on the 2-point conversion. How about the defense? How do they play run versus pass?
It's really difficult for them because I think most teams want to play for the pass. That's what they see most teams do. And so are you able to mass enough people inside if the team decides to run it? Very difficult. I think what you're seeing a lot more now, people blitzing the 2-point conversion. They want you to make a quick decision and make it right now.
There, the offense wins the battle for 2. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. A lot of the problems have been on the other side of the ball. Is that frustrating for a quarterback who's been playing well?
It is, but there's no way that the best ones let their teammates know that. They actually take it upon themselves and say, okay, I have to do even more, or I need to play better. Maybe even say, I put my defense in a bad spot. That's what true leadership shows you.
Yeah, well, he doesn't need to change much personally. Looking to throw on second down. McKenzie. And that's off the mark, incomplete. Curtis Samuel, the intended target. And it's 3rd down.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Looking to throw. McKenzie. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And this will be scooped up by the defense. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. After the fumble recovery, it's Jackson. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Jalen Ramsey right there in coverage to knock it away. From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Jackson now on 2nd and 10. He'll rifle this one, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by M.J. Stewart. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. You want the 3rd quarter already? No problem. Let's do it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. Spins past him. And he's able to get this all the way to the 40 before going out of bounds.
Now that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say you want to get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little, kind of.
And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Jackson now. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. A big play there on the catch and run. 51 yards.
So what's the old expression that quarterbacks like to use when they decide to throw the football? I'm looking for either a touchdown or a check down. And he took the check down on that play, and it worked almost to perfection.
No. Check. Patriot. Watch him now, Barney. Watch him now, Barney.
Now a handoff looking right. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A great effort there. Scampering home from 19 yards out. And his guys are going to add on to their lead.
And we know they won't get their names in the stat sheet, but the offensive line has to get all the credit for that touchdown run. Tremendous job of blocking, paving the way for the 6 points.
John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the 2-point conversion. Now a toss going left. And he is not going to get to the goal line. And for the first time here this afternoon, they are thwarted on the 2-point conversion. Now on the return here, we've got an injured player down there. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Redskins offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Only a couple there, so he'll be brought down about the 28.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. On 3rd down, McKenzie. He's got a man complete. 20. And he's able to get this way down deep into enemy territory. It's a big play there for the Redskins on 3rd down. 61 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
To throw on 2nd down, McKenzie. And that's going to be incomplete.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
To throw on 3rd down, McKenzie. Buying time to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 5 yards that time out of the scramble, but now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
Well, that field goal block pretty much sums up the day for them, doesn't it?
Boy, it really does. What's the word we often use? Symptomatic. It's just been a sign of how this one's gone.
Give a lot of credit to the guys who got in and blocked the kick. They've had the advantage all game, and they continue to press it.
So now a chance for points in the opposite direction after the blocked field goal. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and end of the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, here we go. Blue 90.
Now Jackson on 2nd down, escaping the pressure right. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. A good decision in the end to pull it and run, gets him 9 yards and a first.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into some windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And now Jackson will look to throw it. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
And this offense on third down today, they have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Throwing is Jackson. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off around the 37. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys, let's go. Come on, capitalize on this one.
And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
83 yards receiving now for him on the afternoon as he's got a first down here.
And the key number on that play, 3. Third play of the drive, 3rd down, spectacular catch, turns into a first down.
First down saves him from a 3 and out. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Here we go now. Blue 90.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. From the gun on 3rd down. McKenzie, he's got Evans. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. 68 yards receiving now for him in the game. And a first down on that last catch as well.
Really? Really? Did we just see that? That's a big catch. One-handed, I might add, to pick up a first down.
I was going to say on 3rd down for the defense, it's one thing to give up a reception. You just kind of shake your head on a one-handed catch to pick up the first. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. And on the ground they go with a running back. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, You better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
And when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason, it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up. Up incomplete. And his kick here is good. And that will cut the lead down to 3 scores at 24. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit third quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And now back out comes the offense.
Gun! 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 Back 99 Philly, here we go! Detroit! Detroit! Bang! 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 Gun! 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 Gun!
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it a second down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he spins away. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
Another good run there, and now we're seeing an offense that's imposed its will on a defense. When we talk about that all the time, what does it really mean? It means that the guys on the offensive line, they feel like they can do whatever they want. They're in the huddle saying, run it again. Give us another chance to smack someone and create some space. On the defensive side of the ball, not only have they imposed their will against you, you're almost powerless to figure out what you're doing there, but you got to keep your spirit up at the same time, and they're taking that. Too.
That's what I'm talking about.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 41.
Here we go now.
And they'll run it here. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
The offense on third down, they've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Back to throw. Sellers. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Now, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away. Turned into a nice play.
They failed once in this spot earlier, but the offense will stay out to go for it on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. He's going to rifle one deep left. And this is caught inside the 5. And touchdown. as his guys are in for 6. And this offense is running away with this one. Wow, talk about a big fourth down conversion for the score defensively. How do you let that happen?
I think you start with the offense and you give them credit for going for it and having that kind of, well, let's face it, audacity. But defensively, I think you're right on target, partner. There's no way something like that's supposed to happen in that situation. You're supposed to be able to shut that down and get the ball back for your own team. Instead, they give up not just a big play, but a touchdown.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is, just what you said, you've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down.
It looks way too easy right now. 2 carries, 2 straight first down runs. The eyes are carrying the legs to the proper hole, but they're being created by an offensive line that has the leverage game going for them right now. Lower than the defensive front, creating space, and he's finding it in a big way. Gotta love what they're doing on offense right now.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Daquan Jones in on the tackle there.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Off the play fake. McKenzie. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up third. They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on third.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Looking to throw. McKenzie. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And this results in 6. Touchdown. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Back 99 Philly. Here we go.
After the interception, here's Jackson. And he's got it. They add on more. A little salt in the wound. 2-point conversion makes this lead even bigger. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. Fielded about a yard deep. Back now at FedEx Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. From the 32 now, here's first and 10.
Here we go now. 319.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Leopard. Leopard. All right, here we go. Green 39.
On third down. That's Bradley. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be fourth down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. They go play action here on first down. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to take this up past the 10 to about the 11. It's a gain of 5, but they're still deep in a hole. 15 yards still to go on third down. Jackson. Flushed out right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this.
And from their own end zone, it's a fake. And this is caught, but he will not make the first down marker. That'll be a turnover on downs. That one good for 21 yards. It's such a risky play there to fake it. You're either the hero or the GOAT. Here they're going to be the GOAT.
Unfortunate, too, because you know they thought they had something there. They don't call it just to call it. They don't just say, oh, what the heck, let's go ahead and fake it here. They feel like they've got something on. They've got the defense in the right spot. Just unsuccessful in that opportunity.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete.
Here we go now. Blue Lightning.
Throwing again. McKenzie, and incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19. Check 59, right?
On third down, McKenzie. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Washington. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Redskins are able to get a score back.
And that touchdown, well, it barely puts a dent in this lead. And unfortunately, I'm having too many flashbacks right now. I remember getting beat down like this playing before.
Oh, yeah? College, high school?
College. Not a heck of a lot of fun. I just remember playing and trying to tackle an elusive tailback who ended up scoring 4 touchdowns, 226 yards. He scored so many times and had so many great runs, I knew every note to their school's fight song.
I bet that ice bath felt extra cold afterwards, too.
Oh, no, there was no ice bath. You're just trying to get out of there before the reporters got to you.
So out now comes the offense back onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. There were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, Why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Jackson. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 7 yards on the play. And all of a sudden here, it's third down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a fourth down.
No. Check. Patriot. Back 99 Philly. Here we go. No. Check. Patriot. Gone. All right, now, lucky 56.
Fourth down, here's Jackson. And this is incomplete. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And the Redskins defense going to take over on the turnover on downs. So they were really trying to put the nail in the coffin there already with this lead here in the fourth, but they didn't get it.
Guaranteed it's not going to be a front handshake in the postgame, right? You just know that there's going to be some bad blood there. And I know if we go to the postgame press conferences, the winning coach, you know what he's going to say, why he did it? We need the points, okay? Because you never know at the end of the year if points are going to come into the tiebreaker if we're trying to get into the playoffs. That's always the standard justification. Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could. Oh, that is going to be a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
Now this offense about ready to take over again. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the fourth quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
On second down, Jackson finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Single receiver. Hey.
On first and 10, it's Jackson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. A gain of 6 there on first.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46. This offense so far on third down, they've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This time they face a 3rd and 2. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Now Jackson. And this one's incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter, maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. Now they'll run it on the toss. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Throw left side, caught by the tight end Njoku. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. David Njoku with touchdown number 23 here on the year. And this offense continues to pour it on. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And here come the Redskins now. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
And a catch right side by Evans. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. McKenzie.
I'm not even sure I know who this guy is out there playing right now. This is very unlike him, one of the most accurate guys in the league. Totally off his game right now.
I don't know. I was going to ask you what you pin it on, but defensively, they've been pretty solid.
Well, sometimes, you know, those defenders, they get into the receivers pretty well, and if they chip away at their timing, it's going to affect what you're doing throwing the ball as well.
Give them a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
This team doesn't mind running the ball in any situation, and I thought he was going to get the 1st down the way the play developed, but the defense closed in and stopped him just about a yard short.
And it's taken in at the 9. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
No, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, you know, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, you know, a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from their first one and blew out the Seahawks.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Now, that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying it is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can...
And that's caught inside the 30. And he's a long ways into Washington territory before hitting the turf. It's a big play there on 3rd down. And even 50 yards.
Gone!
Oh, Jackson's going to throw it. Pretty move. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll be a 2nd down.
Gone!
Now it's Jackson. This is caught. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will.
56, right there, 56.
Here's a toss coming right. And they are just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more. And is there bad blood here? I mean, go for 2 when you're up that much?
If there wasn't before, there is now. When you do that, you've just announced to everyone, you just don't care about the other side at all. All you care about is what you're doing, and they just want to pile up points.
They did. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Redskins offense, they get set to go back to work here. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
To throw on 2nd down. McKenzie over the middle to Evans. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a 1st down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And the ball is knocked out. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. And before this play happens, we're going to get a timeout here. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Operating from the gun, McKenzie, and complete over the middle, Safarian Jenkins. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off inside the 10. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for our visitors, the train just keeps rolling 9-0 now to start this campaign. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Meanwhile, for the Redskins, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they will be at home next week to take on the New York Giants.